Hey everybody, so housing just got a huge update that we've been waiting for a while. So in this video, I'm going to go over pretty much everything you need to know about the new update so you can get started as soon as you hop on housing. Yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not going to really wait any longer. So first, I just want to show off the lobby. So it changed back to the original theme. It's no longer the Halloween theme. So if we go up to the My Houses NPC, you'll see this new thing. We have 2 more slots, so they added 2 more purchasable slots, which is amazing. Hi, Cruxy. If you go here and right-click to manage on a house and go to change icon, they added a bunch more icons, mostly just wool, but also just some general stuff, which is nice to have. As you can see, I'm using the new golden carrot icon. Okay, so I quickly set up a house with all the new housing features, and we're going to go over them one by one relatively quickly because I don't want to make this video too long, but there is a lot of stuff to go over. For starters, one of the most anticipated things about this update is the new team system. We can do the command/teams to open up the menu, or we can go to the housing menu, which has also been redesigned. We can go to systems, and teams is right over here. You can create a team, which I already done, you just name it. Then you can go in here inside the team settings, you can rename, change the tag, change the color, and turn on or off friendly fire. I did this with another team, just set it to red. What's cool too is based on the color you choose is actually the icon that will show, which is nice because in groups it's not like that. If we go to groups real quick, it's all the same color, which I wish was different. In the teams menu, you can go to team settings, and there's a lot of cool stuff in here. We have edit prefixes and suffixes. If we go inside here, you can change the chat prefix. This is the prefix that shows to you in the chat. So we're going to choose group. So if we talk in chat, say hi, it will say the owner because I am the owner of this house. If we go back, we can change it to team. We'll go team and we'll say hello. It'll say no team because I don't have a team selected. We're just going to keep it on that setting just so you can see, just so I can show later in the tutorial the different stuff. Balancer method. Change the method that players are automatically put into teams when joining the house. So I have this set to none, meaning when a player joins, they'll have the default team or with the default no team. But if we click the toggle, we can have players that join the house just get put on the team with the least players. Here we have balanced parties to the same team. So if players aren't a party, so they want to play with friends, then as long as there's 5 or less players, they'll be put on the same team. I think that's what this means. I might be wrong, but it looks like this is what that means. So you can have this enabled or disabled. And here we have team chat. So team chat will allow players to communicate only with players on their team. Players will still be able to talk globally using /shout, which is a command that you see in other minigames. If we turn this on, players can do /shout if they're on a team. Otherwise, if they just chat, it'll just be on players with the same team, which is super cool. So there's a new action for setting up teams. If I go inside this NPC, you can see set player team. I'll go over actions a bit more later, but you can choose the default team or the 2 teams that we selected or created. There is always going to be this none team I figured out. So even if you have no team set up, there is going to be this none team. So we can click on this and it'll change our team to none, which you're already on. We can click on this and change our team to blue. If we say something in chat, then it will say we're on the blue team. When we click on red, it will change our team to red, and we can change something in chat, and it will say the red team. I just realized I skipped over a thing. If we go back to edit prefixes and suffixes, we can change what shows on the player list. So the tab list, when you hold down tab, it could either be none, the Hypixel rank, or the team. And then for suffix, you can either have the team or just nothing, because teams are actually shown on the tab and on the name tags at the end to not confuse players with the group, which is shown before. And this is just for the player list. This is not for the chat. Okay, we have 5 new placeholders related to the team's update. If we do /placeholders, you can see that we have a bunch of placeholders, but in specific, the team ones are shown right here. So to use them, you put what's inside this brackets. Instead of brackets, you use %signs. And then I have an example here on what it would result in. So player.team.name would return the team's name, not colored. Player.team.tag would return the team's tag, which is colored with brackets on the side. Player.team.color will return the color of the team. So any text after that will be changed to whatever team's color it is. Player.team.players/ and then the team name. So this could be red or blue for what I have set up. And then it will return the amount of players on the team. The last one, which is a bit complex, is stat.team/ and then the stat name, and then the team, so space, and then the team. We'll return the team stats for that stat. So in this case, it will be returning the red team's kills. So super cool. We have another team, I guess, stat thing. So that we had player team. So we had player stat, and then we had global stat, but now we have team stats, which is awesome. And I have a quick NPC here that if we right click, it'll just increase the kills by 1. So I clicked it twice, so we'll do twice again, 18. My game just crashed, but we are back. We have 3 main team commands, that is /team with a S or without. We'll open this team menu that I showed you earlier. We have /chat spy for, I think it's a permission you can give to certain groups. If we go to chat spy, there we go. You'll be able to see all the team's chat messages to make sure people on certain teams aren't being naughty in the chat or whatever. And then just like the other stat commands, we also have one for editing team stats. So we can do /edit team stat or stats. We'll do the team, so we'll do red. The stat will do kills. The action will just do increase. And then the value will just do 100. So now we should see, yep, the kills for red is now 118. So that's it for teams. Super cool. I'm super excited to see what people do with this. I think there's so much potential for teams. I think mini games could really be improved on housing. But without further ado, we'll just move on to the next topic. So over here, we have another huge part of this update, GUIs. If you don't know what a GUI is, it is a menu. For example, this housing menu, this is a GUI. This is a menu. Now, the original way of doing this was through poison loops and chest GUIs or inventory layouts, it worked, but it was kind of frustrating. It was annoying to set up, but now we have an actual official way of doing it, which is amazing. So I have an action in this NPC that basically just opens a display menu, which is a new action, and I have it set to shop. Before we open this, I'm going to do the command /custom menu, which will open up here. But to get it with the housing menu, you can go here, go to systems, go to custom menus. You can create one, and I'll show you what happens when you create one. So I created one called shop. We can change the title. We can change the menu size, which you can see. You can go down to 1 row up to 6 rows. You can view the menu here, which I'll show you in a second. Or actually, I'll show you through the NPC. But the main thing is edit menu elements. So if we open this up, we can find, it'll have this huge menu full of glass pane. It'll say click to set item. So we click this, and then we choose an item in our inventory to replace it with. Once we do, and I have some examples here, you can then, I'll show you with the wooden sword that I put in here. We can left click to edit the actions. And what I have it do is just give the wooden sword and play a sound, just an example. Here we have a team, it just sets the team, so we have red and blue. Here we actually have a new stat or action called that just closes the menu. And in here we have a diamond sword that actually has a conditional in it where we check if gold is greater than or equal to 100, which if it is, then we'll just give the diamond sword, remove 100 from gold. Otherwise, we'll just let them know that they don't have enough gold. So I'm going to show you now, if we right click on this NPC, we can click on here to get a wooden sword. It plays a sound that I set up. We can click on here to change our team to blue. Wait for it to update, or maybe if I just talk into that, there we go. I think it might have been a mistake on the name tags, but it doesn't matter. Open back this up, we can change to red. Say hi, as you can see, our team is now red. We can click here to close the menu, and we can click on this. On our scoreboard, we have our stat gold. I just set it to 200. We can click on this once, and we'll get a diamond sword, and our gold will go down 100. Click on it again, we get another one. Our gold will go down 100. And now if we click it again, it'll say that you don't have enough gold. I went over that really quick, but there's some really advanced stuff you can do with that, so I'm super excited to see what you guys do. I personally, this will be one of the main things from this update I'll be using. GUIs are amazing. I'm so glad they are officially supported. But yeah, super, super cool. I can't trust this enough how cool this is so far. But we're going to move on to the next thing now. So we have a bunch of new actions to show you. So some of them we showed you there, so I won't repeat them too much. But if we go inside here, we can go to click actions. Here are a bunch of new or edited actions that have been changed. So let's go into it now. So we have set player team. We can click on here and choose the team. This will happen when the player clicks on this. It will set their team. We can change the team stat. So we set the stat, set the mode, set the amount, and for which team this applies to. We can display a menu, which I showed you in the other NPC. A really big one is pause execution, which is super cool. If we open up this, you can see that ticks to wait. So basically, when we get to this action in the... So actions work from top left to right and then going to the next row. So it will do these 3 instantly, but then once it gets to here, it'll actually wait a second, or 20 ticks. 20 ticks is equal to 1 second, meaning 40 ticks is equal to 2, etc., etc. So from here, what I do is we wait a second, and then we'll continue the rest of the actions, which I'll show you now. Just to show you too, I'll just have a send message that just says this was executed 1 second later. And then here are the rest of the new or edited actions. So we have play sound. This was already in the game, but If we go inside here, I think this menu is a lot better. I don't remember it doing this enchanted glow on the items. I think that's new. It might not be. I'm not 100% sure. But what's super cool is that we can go to custom sound. Now, you need to know the sound. I think it's called IDs or the names. No, I will hopefully have a list in the description if I remember to a list of all the 1.8.9 sound names. But an example that I know I just have memorized from when I would code and stuff, you can do orb.pickup, and that should do the orb pickup sound, which I think would work fine. I'm not 100% sure. I might be wrong on the name here, but you can also change the volume, the pitch. We have location here, so you can choose the location of where the sound is. You can do the house spawn, the current location that you set, or the invoker's location, which is just the player's location. I'd recommend just doing this if you want to have the sound play for the player, or custom coordinates if you want to. And then we have the give item. So this again was already in action, but it was changed. So we can now have the item, which the item and allow multiple like normal, but you can now choose the inventory slot. And if you want to replace that slot if there's already something there. So if we go on this menu, we can choose, as you can see, we can choose if we want to replace like the helmet. We can choose any of the inventory slots as well as the hotbar or the first slot. I think this is, I'm not sure what, oh, I know what this is, sorry. This is just replace the first available spot. So right here, it would actually put it here because we already have items here. You can do the hand slot, so whatever slot is in the player's currently holding. So as the bottom, you can see I'm currently holding the middle slot, so it'll do there too. And you can enter the 0 indexed like Minecraft inventory slot number. If you don't know what this is, don't worry about it. Just choose a slot here. And once again, you can replace that item. So if there's something there, it will just replace it. Or not. It's up to whatever this is. And then finally is the conditional. So nothing changed in here besides conditions. We have 3 new conditions, which is super cool. We have player flying, required team, or team stat requirement. So obviously this is if the player is flying or not. This is the player if on the specific team. And this is the player has a certain team stat requirement. So if the player or the team stat kills for the blue team is greater than or equal to 1 is what I just have as an example. And we'll just left click it, or right click it, or actually no, left click does work, to show the wait condition. So we just have, so there we go, it executed a second later. So I did here, I'll actually left click on it. I'll left click to show you when it does it, and there we go, it'll give us the item a second later. For visual things in the stat leaderboards, a new change has been added. So as you can see, Amadoofus is not in this house, but if we shift right click, we have this new option called persistent leaderboard data. And this will, if players have joined the house previously and are a top spot on the leaderboard, then instead of removing their position when they leave, because that's what it did previously, it'll now save their position, which is super cool. Now I'm going to go over just permissions and groups. So in the menu, which again has been changed, actually I'll just go over the menu real quick. In house settings, there's a lot less things in here. There's a lot of things that make sense for house settings, such as damage settings, player data, house language, house tags, all the stuff you pretty much remember from earlier. But all the more advanced stuff is in the systems item in here. We have regions, event actions, scoreboard editor, commands, functions, inventory layouts, teams, and custom menus. We're going to go into permissions and groups now, so nothing here has changed really. What's really interesting is if we go inside of a group and go to edit permissions, there's a ton of new permissions. I'm going to quickly just show you the screenshot and just go through them real quick. So there's a permission for levers, team chat spy, edit actions, edit regions, edit scoreboard, edit event actions, edit commands, edit functions, edit inventory layouts, edit custom menus, edit teams. All of those are awesome because only the owner can do it. So now you can have like managers or people you trust to also work on the house with you and have the exact same permissions. And I only really think of the use for this in free builds, but there is permissions now for using the mailbox, the egg hunt, the teleport pad, the launch pad, the action pad, the hologram, the NPC, the action button, the leaderboard, the trash can, and the biome stick. That's it for the changes to permissions. Now I'm going to show you the new event actions. If we go inside event actions here, you can see the menu has been changed a little bit. It originally stopped here, but we have new from here on. So as you can see, we have player drop item. This is awesome to prevent players from dropping items they don't want to. This was a huge issue in housing with like simulators and other house. So I'm really glad that they added this. Here we have player pickup items. So if you have item drops enabled, then when the player picks up an item, we can trigger functions here. We also have the player change held item. I'm pretty sure this happens when the item that they're holding changes. So if we go from here to, let's say, a diamond sword, then it will trigger the event. I think in all three of these events, we have a new conditional too. If we go inside here and add a conditional, yeah, we have is item. So it checks the item that happened in the event. So for the drop item, it would be the item you drop. For the pickup, it would be the item you picked up. And for the change held item, it would be the item that you changed holding. Another one we have is player toggle sneak. This will trigger when the player toggles their sneak, so they shift or unshift. And then we have player toggle fly, which will execute when the player flies or stops flying. Pretty self-explanatory there. A big thing in housing was poison loops, and now with this update, unfortunately, all my poison loop outdated videos are pretty much outdated because, I mean, it's super cool, don't get me wrong. If we go to house settings, or sorry, we don't do that anymore. We go to the house menu and go to systems. We can go to functions. We can create a function. I'll just call this test. We can have actions that have in this, or that run in this function, but that's not the main part. Right click to edit the function. We have this new automatic execution thing. Function is going to be enabled to automatically execute for all players in the house every X amount of ticks. So if we set this to 20 ticks, that means this function will now run every second for all players in the house. This completely replaces the poison loops, which on the forums, which on the forum post all about it, Connor Linfa did mention that that's right, no more poison hearts, which is amazing. I'm super glad to see this. Poison loops have been a little buggy, and they haven't improved with the Unix timer, but now there's an official way for it, and it's awesome. We have 6 new themes you can explore. Now, after looking, I think the themes menu is a little bugged right now, so I'm sure they'll probably fix it within the next day. So I can't access them myself. I don't know if you access them through mystery boxes, or you just get them all free. It does say free on the patch notes, but I'm also thinking that that might mean that you can still get them from mystery boxes for free. But I don't know. I'm going to show a list on the screen now of all the new themes from Hypixel's perspective. Most of them, I think, are meant for the Teams update, having Teams Arena, but a bunch of them are also just awesome new housing themes to have, which I think are, anything really is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go over the other changes that were made. These are very small, so I didn't, include them as, different parts in the video like I did behind me. But I'll just quickly go through the list as well as show them on screen. Purchasable housing slots from 2 to 4. They added the option to persistent stat leaderboards to remain once they leave. Parkour leaderboards no longer show the same player multiple times, only their highest score is stored. Parkour leaderboard entities, meaning the armor stands that actually hold up the parkour leaderboards, now will instantly update when a player completes a parkour. There is a house setting for each of the 3 collectible cosmetic types: pets, companions, particle packs, and cloaks. For houses that have already been made, by default they are set to enabled, but for new houses created, they are by default set to disabled. Cloaks will no longer show if the player is AFK for too long. Particle packs and cloaks will no longer show when the player is too close to the house spawn, similar to lobbies. Added a placeholder for visiting rules, added a placeholder for the number of players in the house, including the owner. Improved the item editor to allow better lore editing, such as changing line order or editing existing lines. Improved the command edit menu, and added the ability to rename the label of a command. Added a toggle to /settings to disable jukebox music, thank God. This can also be toggled with /toggle music. Rewrote the system for house icons to allow for better expandability of icons. With this change, some new icons are available for all players. Houses that are currently running will now show as a glowing icon in the Visit in My Houses menu. Added the /clear global stats command. The player join event will no longer trigger when a house reinstances. Player join and quit message will no longer show when the house is reinstanced. Added audit logs where possible to some more systems. Added a command to open event actions /event actions. Added a search button to the following menus: permissions, functions, themes, NPC skins. Added new NPC skins from Skyblock. Added 2 new skull packs and 18 new skulls to the animals pack. Made many under-the-hood changes to the housing menu and some small improvements. And here are the bug fixes. Fixed an issue that would cause stats to be lost if you rejoined a house too soon after leaving. This was rolled out before the update. Fixed an issue that allowed infinite values to be used in location settings, which would cause a server to crash. This was rolled out before the update. Fixed an issue that caused the function setting to not be stored the same as the functions menu. Fixed an issue that caused theme changing to replace some of the plot incorrectly for users with the 101 by 101 plot size or larger. Fixed an issue that resulted in the positions of players on leaderboards being wrong while player data was being loaded. Fixed duplicating in a house, not duplicating inventory layouts. Fixed an issue that would prevent the group tag in the player listing from updating. Fixed an issue that caused particles from the Herobrine pet to show in other worlds on the same server. Fixed an issue that would cause global stats to roll back when reinstancing. Fixed an issue that caused the housing menu to be dropped. Fixed an issue that caused replicated chests to not keep their title. Fixed an issue that caused locked items to show another item title instead of unknown. Fixed an issue that displayed locked furniture to players even though they had no method to unlock it. Fixed an issue causing some global housing commands to not work with the command aliases. And that's it for the bug fixes. This update was amazing. I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy for it. The admins did an amazing job. I'm super excited to see what comes out with this. Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of tutorials for all of these things individually. Obviously, this has so much more content ideas, so much more housing ideas, so much more tutorials I can make. So if you guys have any tutorials you want to see with these new things in specific, let me know in the comments. If I miss anything, which I don't think I did, also comment that down and I'll try to pin the comment. But yeah, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.